Yeah, this year, 2013 on the Elite Series was definitely one of the more frustrating. It was the most frustrating year and the toughest year that I've ever had on tour. And I think looking back on it, I really approached the lakes in a manner where I was trying to do the things that the lakes are known, the winning patterns after doing research and even practicing, pre-practicing prior to the cutoff. Really just trying to do those things that I thought I should be doing instead of going out and doing the things that I know how to do and the things that are fishing within my strengths, because I'm typically a shallow power fisherman. And I would get out of my comfort zone. I think the best way for me to approach a lake and when I get there is to first eliminate whether or not the fish, if I can catch the fish doing my strengths. And I think a lot of times this year I went out and I went out trying to do what I was supposed to do on a given body of water instead of going out and trying to catch them the way I want to catch them, the way I'm most comfortable within my strengths. I mean, one of the perfect examples is falcon. I mean, I knew it was going to get one offshore, and Keith Combs did win it like that. But the first day of practice, I went to the bank fishing, pulled out my flipping rod, and immediately got bit. And then I knew, okay, I've got this to go back to. But the next couple days I went out, or the next day I went out and fished offshore and just got a few bites. And I found it to be really tough. So the third day of practice, I went right back to the bank and just expanded what I did. And had a really good second day, had 27 pounds, but just finished well and made the cut and got a check in that event. In some of the other tournaments, I did what I thought was going to be the deal and I really should have in practice instead of, again, following and fishing my strengths. And I think that really, in hindsight, my toughest events of the year were the events where I didn't do what I might fish my strengths. And that, we always talk about how important that is, but those lessons where we got to learn them over and over again are the hardest ones. And this year I learned a bunch of hard lessons. So somewhat similar to what you and I have been talking about already this morning, how there's so much information now about how what it's going to take to win a tournament and what the prevailing patterns will be, but how important it is just to know what that is, but also to not kind of sell yourself out, so to speak, because we all have our own set of strengths and skills that we have to rely on aside of knowing, what those certain patterns will be. I think that'd be kind of addresses that a little bit, but because you think of like a guy like Aaron, he just makes that drop shot work everywhere. And the thing that blows me away about that is that most of the time when I get to obviously all of your bigger tour events, it's never about catching them, it's about catching the right kind. And it always blows me away. I pick up something finessey and it's always the wrong kind, and he's throwing a drop shot and catching the right kind. And you just think, like, how does he, it's, obviously how it's just really important to be able to fish your strengths and adapt that to whatever lake. It's really interesting. Here's a better one. No, he's just about the same size. Man, he just hammered it.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to talk about.
And it's almost like I think when you know what you should do or how it's potentially going to get won, you just should use that as a kind of a filter to look at the lake in, but not necessarily just sell yourself out and not do what you do and do, doing what they do in Rome. You know what I mean? And again, it's crazy because you got a guy like Chris Lane from Florida, and he's catching, he wins a smallmouth tournament on drop shot, which, and beats all the noted. Yeah, obviously it's about finding them too, but it always blows me away when you got guys that that do well or even win tournaments doing something that they're just not known for.
Right.
So